I love Hunter x Hunter. I think it's an anime that has stood the test of time. People forget that the manga started on March 16th, 1998, and even though he has gotten 2 anime adaptations, one of them being from 1999 and the more modern version being from 2011, people still talk about this anime for so many reasons, whether that be for the interesting characters, its locations, or its influence on other anime. It's clear that Hunter x Hunter still has a huge fan base. I mean, Yoshihiro Togashi, the author of the manga, is still putting out chapters despite suffering from health issues. But out of all the things I could talk about today, I want to talk about Gon, the series protagonist. More specifically, I want to talk about his rage and why I think it's an unforgettable scene. Let's break it down to see why the scene hit so hard. To truly understand why this moment is so impactful, let's first set the stage by exploring Gon's journey and the world of Hunter x Hunter. I want to provide a bit of context for people who haven't seen the series or may have forgotten. Hunter x Hunter takes place in a fictional world where people can become hunters. Being a hunter in this world allows you access to a wide range of opportunities and privileges, including free access, public services, permissions to travel almost anywhere, and the ability to pursue various careers and jobs. That's the basics of it. We follow Gon, a naive, athletic and friendly boy who wants to become a hunter so that he can find his father and become a legendary hunter like him, while facing challenges and forming bonds with other aspiring hunters. That's the basic outline of the story. But like I said, I want to talk about Gon's rage in this video and the moments that led up to it. I think it's important to start with Gon to see what his goals are and how they link with another character called Kite. When we meet Gon, his main goal is to find his dad, who he hasn't seen since he was born. He wants to find him because he wants to know why he abandoned him to become a hunter.
I do. He chose being a hunter over his own son.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Huh?
It must be an awesome job if it was worth leaving his kid. Don't you think?
Being a hunter is a dangerous job. You could die at any time for any number of ridiculous reasons. Don't you understand?
No, I don't. But I want to understand. I want to find out why it was so important to my dad. That's why I've got to do it.
On the way, Gon meets a bunch of characters including Killua, Lirorio and Kurapika. All of them want to become hunters for different reasons. All of them go on different adventures throughout the series, building a bond with each of them in a unique way. A couple of arcs later, Gon and Killua meet Kite. He is also a hunter, but he was a student of Gon's father, Jin. Kite is introduced early into the story when he saves Gon's life and informs him that Jin is a hunter and alive. The reason why Gon cares so much for Kite is that because he sees him as a father figure. Kite teaches Gon about the world of hunters and introduces him to his father's legacy. Later on, Gon and Kite reunite during the Chimera Ant arc, where they investigate the emergence of Chimera Ants. While trying to ensure Gon and Killua's escape, Kite is brutally killed by Pito, one of the Ant King's royal guards. This hits Gon hard, to the point where he's willing to fight Pito, somebody who's significantly stronger than him, just on instinct. Killua had to knock him out so that he wouldn't get himself killed, and they had to retreat. But unfortunately, Kite sacrificed himself to save Gon and Killua. Now, I want to talk about how Gon goes through the 5 steps of grief, and how Togashi subtly shows how Gon is dealing with Kite's death. When Gon wakes up, he's completely in denial that Kite is dead.
I left Kite back there to die. Kite is still alive. He would never be beaten. Not by something like that.
When we see Kite again, he's turned into a puppet by Pito's Nen ability. We see a shift in Gon's demeanour. Instead of focusing on rescuing, Gon shifts his denial to finding a way to get Kite back to normal, showing a refusal to accept Kite's death. We then see possibly one of the scariest raid scenes in anime history. It's up there with Goku turning Super Saiyan, but I think what makes it different to other raid scenes in anime is that it's not empowering or awe-inspiring, but it's actually very terrifying. Let me ask you something. When you first watched this scene, were you like, awesome, Gon's got a new power up, or were you like, holy crap, what's happening? This is not the same optimistic and kind Gon that we once knew from the start of the series. This is somebody consumed by anger, despair, and willing to destroy himself to take revenge. This is anger. I remember when I first watched this episode, I was completely confused on how Gon was getting a new power up, and my immediate thought was that he looked like Biscuit, so I thought, did she teach him a new technique? that would allow him to grow up. I imagine that was a lot of people's reaction to this scene. I also think that the direction and animation does an amazing job at portraying Gon as this mysterious figure. The animation almost dehumanizes Gon. The sharp shadows, the wild hair, and the lifeless eyes turn him into a force of nature. It reminds me a lot of Mob from Mob Psycho 100 when he's in his question mark state. The unsettling track playing in the background mirrors Gon's descent as well, making it clear that this is not a triumphant power-up but a horrifying transformation. Also, Gon's anger isolates him from Killua, his best friend, telling him things like how he doesn't care about Kite and how he basically tells him to shut up.
What do you mean? By save, huh?
Anything? You say that you'll do anything?
Killua. I'm asking the questions here.
And how he will take things from here. But because Gon has experienced grief, he pushes everyone he cares about away. And Killua knows this, which is why he doesn't snap back. This tension between them tests their friendship, and this is why people love their relationship. Gon then moves on to the next stage of grief, which is bargaining. He literally bargains his future to use Nen ever again, to get stronger in the moment, so that he can take his revenge on Pito. Gon then experiences depression by saying things like, "I don't care anymore," and we see Gon experience a brief period of deep sadness and despair. Even though he has defeated Pito, he uses a much stronger version of his attack that he knows that would kill him and Pito. This shows how he has no hope left. After Gon kills Pito, he's left with no Nen in his body. He has turned back into the boy that he was, but Gon's rage has come with consequences. Being hospitalized and not being able to use Nen has left Killua to ask his sister Aluka to heal Gon. The way her powers work is that she can grant wishes, but the more the wish is in value, the more it will cost. For example, if you ask for £1 million, she'll probably ask you something like, "Give me your liver," and if you don't give it to her, you will die. And it's not her fault, as she has a different personality that takes over when people ask for a wish. Killua's family keep her locked up so that she can't grant people's wishes. I'd say that shows that Gon's anger has consequences for himself and the people that he loved. It also shows the length that Killua is willing to go to save a friend. Finally, when Gon is healed, we see Gon accept Kite's death. When he meets up with the reincarnation of Kite, he can move on, saying next time he can protect her from danger and he won't make that mistake again.
I left you to fight all alone. I was too weak. But next time I swear I'm gonna protect you.
This is one of the reasons why I love Hunter x Hunter. It manages to take anime tropes like the protagonist getting a power up, but it flips it on its head. Instead of the audience getting excited, we are scared of what the power costs for Gon and the repercussions it will cost later. I want to talk about different aspects of Hunter x Hunter, like Killua and his family, or even Hisoka. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. What are your favourite moments from Hunter x Hunter? Is it this raid scene, or is there another one that stands out? Please like, subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.